The story began with a mysterious person speaking. The time has come. Even after our sect was destroyed by the demonic cult, the reason we struggled to survive was to seek revenge. In the dead of night, a dark figure lurked in the treetops waiting for an opportunity to act. With agile movements, the person landed on the rooftop. Inside a cellar, a fire crackled, providing light. A stern-looking guard stood there on duty. Suddenly, a hand attacked from behind, catching him off guard. The extraordinary force nearly twisted his neck off. Kang Wu-Tian knew they would soon discover the guard's disappearance, so he had to deal with this first. The guard lay sprawled on the ground after the attack. The heavenly demon who was cultivating muttered in annoyance, "It's too noisy outside." His sinister eyes opened, striking fear into people. Wu-Tian stood at the window sneering, "I didn't expect you to be peacefully meditating while your subordinates are dying. You're still so heartless." The heavenly demon retorted angrily, "I could say the same about you causing trouble without knowing anything. Heartless indeed. Do you think a person climbing a mountain cares about the insects beneath their feet? No, they only look towards the summit. That's how someone reaches the pinnacle of martial arts." Wu Tian showed contempt. "How pathetic. I, Kang Wu Tian, will kill you with my own hands today, heavenly demon." With that, he channeled his energy and performed a technique, the heaven-shaking thunder fist. Just like that, a powerful fist shot towards him. The heavenly demon sneered, "Is that all you've got?" Saying so, he used the heavenly demon blood flow technique to counter. He uttered words of contempt for his opponent. "Watch and learn." A powerful light emanated from his palm. Each side wielded a different kind of power, neither willing to yield. Wu Tian let out a few grunts as he analyzed the situation. He shot sword chi from his hand. The heavenly demon gloated threateningly, "Today I'll send you to meet your father. Die." At the decisive moment, Wu Tian used the Cloud Dragon Divine Fist. The heavenly demon's eyes widened in surprise. Then Wu Tian used the Ascending Heaven Palm, shattering the heavenly demon's sword chi. He panicked. "My iron essence, my sword fist technique that's harder than steel, lost to your bare hands." Just as he finished speaking, the heavenly demon was hit by a fatal blow. Blood spurting from his mouth, Wu Tian seemed to have the upper hand. He warned, "Don't speak of my father with that filthy mouth." Wu Tian was furious. "You haven't forgotten the evil deeds you committed back then, have you? This is the wrath of all those people." The heavenly demon's current miserable state was Wu Tian's target for revenge. The battered heavenly demon struggled to speak. "I should have eradicated the Cloud Dragon sect completely that day. I don't know what enlightenment you've achieved, but I'm truly surprised. I didn't expect you to be able to break my heavenly demon blood flow." "You leave me no choice," he said, then looked at the container with a grim expression. Wu Tian realized in horror, "That's a divine elixir." Before he could stop him, the heavenly demon had downed a large amount of the liquid. Wu Tian was terrified. If he drinks that much divine elixir, he'll suffer chi deviation. The container shattered, and the heavenly demon, his strength restored, stood up. Veins bulged on his old ugly face. An overwhelming surge of immense power caused the heavenly demon to roar. Wu Tian used his hands to shield his face for optimal protection. He also had to be wary of this terrifying power. A deep, hoarse voice echoed, "Brat, it's time for you to disappear." The old body suddenly became agile and pounced on Wu Tian, leaving him no time to react. At this moment, a dazed Wu Tian realized, it's too late. A third person quickly summoned a barrier to protect Wu Tian. Thanks to this, Wu Tian narrowly escaped death. Wu Tian was surprised. The young man approached, his voice deep and resonant. "Sorry, am I a bit late? I was busy wandering around." Wu Tian was surprised to see the appearance of a great mage. The young man smiled. "I told you not to call me by such grand nicknames. Anyway, is this the nemesis you were talking about?" In Wu Tian's subconscious, he said he came from another world. If it weren't for him, I would have died in vain. Returning to reality, Jin Seo-woon was engrossed in reading the story when he suddenly exclaimed in frustration, "Hold on, isn't this supposed to be a normal martial arts story? Where did a high-level mage from another world suddenly appear from? I was enjoying it, and this just ruined the mood. Has the author lost their mind? Suddenly there's another world, what nonsense is this?" He was Jin Seo-woon, currently 23 years old. He had been discharged from the military 6 months ago and was preparing to return to university. The phone rang. Seo-woon answered. A voice came from the other end. Bro, you up yet? Let's play. Seo-woon was curt. Doesn't this dog have anyone else to play with? Like many others who had completed their military service, Seo-woon had a plan before his discharge. He wanted to get a certificate while preparing to return to university and learn all the things he couldn't while in the army. But Seo-woon had missed out on too many social pleasures. Seo-woon wandered the streets muttering, "Although I still have a little money, should I look for a part-time job?" As a martial arts novel addict, Seo-woon often imagined himself as the main character in a martial arts world. He arrived at a nearby store. The owner greeted him. "Seo-woon, is that you playing Loyal Ground today too, huh?" Seo-woon nodded. "Give me 10 hours first." Seo-woon had spent a lot of time on Loyal Ground. Although it was just a game he played during his leave days after his discharge, he grinded like crazy and became a top 10 ranker within 3 months. Seo-woon connected his microphone and informed his teammates. "I'm logging in now. Wait in the lobby." Seo-woon earned quite a bit from the tournaments they often organized on online forums. The game proceeded as follows. 100 players were dropped from a plane, collected weapons scattered around the map, and killed each other until only one remained. Seo-woon connected. "I see 2 people 250 meters away." In the game, each person equipped a weapon and attacked each other to win. His teammate exclaimed, "There are only 2 left." Seo-woon raised his voice. "You're too noisy. You died once already. Why are you still yapping? Focus on farming and staying alive for now. We have to get to the safe zone first, then we'll figure things out." Only when spoken to like that did the teammate quiet down. "I trust you, bro. I'll shut up now." Seo-woon silently searched. "Where's that guy with the skull mask from earlier?" Inside the game, Seo-woon entered the room. "The loot is still here, so that means he hasn't been here." Seo-woon let his guard down because of the free items on the floor, unaware that someone was ambushing him from behind. By the time he turned to look, the other person had already fled. It wasn't until the game announced, "Your teammate has died," that Seo-woon realized in horror, "Damn it, was he hiding in there? I have to get out." Thinking this, he quickly ran off. The mysterious person from before was shot dead by Seo-woon. In the end, Seo-woon became the sole survivor and winner. His teammate exclaimed cheerfully, "I got carried again, thanks, bro." Seo-woon replied wearily, Yeah, just get in the queue." Seo-woon told himself he should focus on studying from tomorrow. Just then he received a message from his mother. "Seo-woon, are you studying properly? I've sent you more allowance and tuition fees. Get something nice to eat, okay?" "Sorry, I couldn't send more." He replied, "Thanks, Mom. I'm about to go to bed." Then Seo-woon informed his teammate, "Hey, I'm not playing anymore from tomorrow." He was surprised. "Huh? Why, you promised to join the guild battle with me." Seo-woon insisted on quitting. "No, I have to start English classes tomorrow." He felt guilty every time he received a message from his mother. He had been living like this for months. Night fell and dense foliage covered the window. Inside that room, Seo-woon lay tossing and turning. Seo-woon searched for and read the day's hot news. People with mysterious powers have been discovered abroad. These people call themselves players. Before he could finish watching, he exclaimed, "Huh, what's this? This page doesn't exist." The video was suddenly deleted. Finally, Seo-woon decided, "Well, I'll just go to sleep then." After a long night, dawn broke. Seo-woon was walking down the street. After yesterday's words, he couldn't avoid being pestered by his teammate. "Bro, can you help me prepare for today's guild battle?" Seo-woon was a little swayed by this enthusiasm. Should I save him for one last game? Then suddenly, a purple light emanated, attracting his attention. Seo-woon's eyes widened. What is this light? Before he could react, he was sucked away by the light, leaving only his backpack behind. The backpack fell and lay in the middle of the street. Its owner vanished. Seo-woon transmigrated to a strange world where the inhabitants didn't wear clothes like ordinary people. He exclaimed in alarm, "What the hell?" A voice full of confusion rang out. What was that light? Just because my resolve to study shattered in one day, am I being punished? Kang Seo-woon slowly opened his eyes. Strange sounds surrounded him. He wondered, what the heck is going on? Why is it so noisy? In front of Seo-woon was a chaotic scene. It seemed like a fierce battle was taking place. Watching the people in front of him hacking at each other mercilessly, Seo-woon stammered in fear, "What the heck is this?" Seeing everyone around him dressed in clothes from a different era, Seo-woon thought to himself, "Why are there so many people in costumes around here?" Those people were fighting and speaking very strange languages. Seo-woon doubted in his heart, "Is this a dream?" As he gradually stood up, his jaw kept dropping. It's just, looking at the scene before him, Seo-woon wondered, "Where am I?" As Seo-woon was looking at the statue in front of him, a strange sound suddenly echoed, 100 players identified. Seo-woon was startled, thinking he was hallucinating. Am I hearing a voice in my head? The statue's eyes lit up, accompanied by a sound, system initializing. Seo-woon stood frozen like a statue, wondering, system? Another notification from the system arrived, language translation 100% complete. At the same time, Seo-woon could now understand all the strange languages from before. This sound, from the beginning, he wondered, what is this? Why are they all suddenly speaking Korean? A chubby man in front of him clasped his head in delight. Now everyone is speaking my language. In front of Seo-woon, the two people fighting were also speaking Korean. We've waited for this day for a long time, our enemies. A blonde person holding a magic staff asked, Chiron, are you the one who put us in this situation? The person named Chiron with a sinister look replied, Escrow, that's actually what I wanted to ask you. Weren't you the one who dragged me here? Escrow looked at him angrily. You're truly shameless. I won't be fooled by your words anymore. Chiron laughed gleefully. It doesn't matter if you believe me or not, because everyone is destined to kneel before the power of the Demon King. Escrow began to wield his magic staff. I promise you this, as a great mage. His face contorted in anger as he enunciated each word. I will kill you here, and then finish off the Demon King afterwards. Immediately after Escrow's words, an attack struck Chiron. Seeing Chiron unchanged after being hit, Escrow was somewhat surprised, but Chiron himself was also puzzled. I took that magic attack head-on, but why don't I feel anything? Then the two continued to argue. Escrow questioned, so it was you who brought me here, tell me the truth. Chiron thought to himself, do you think I'd just confess like that? Watching the two people in front of him, Seo-woon was somewhat bewildered. This is a bit too real for a dream. Suddenly, the system announced again, game start. Then the system briefly introduced the game. Difficulty easy to get into the top 90. The selected map is the Emperor's royal capital. Rewards will be given to the top 10 or higher. Someone sitting above smiled silently, as if there was some arrangement. Then the system announced again, skipping tutorial. In the waiting room, attacks between players will be disabled. Looking at the screen in front of him, Seo-woon couldn't help but break into a cold sweat. Is this a game map? In front of him was a giant statue. The system sound continued to echo. For those accessing the Great Survival for the first time, let me briefly explain. This game will continue for 100 years, and each day the map you play on will be limited. If you go beyond the map's limit, you will be in great danger, so be careful. This game will continue until only one survivor remains. And if the game ends or you are eliminated, you will return to the real world. Players who do not reach the top 90 will no longer be able to participate in the Great Survival game. The perspective shifted back to the new players. Soon, everyone will descend to their desired location using Argus's sight. You can collect items there and reach the top 90. May luck be with you. Hearing the system's introduction, Seo-woon thought doubtfully, am I dreaming about loyal ground right now? He felt out of place among the large people around him. Seo-woon recalled the system's words, rewards will be given to the top 10 or higher. Seo-woon's face was covered in sweat as he thought, even if this is a dream. He looked at a large, muscular man carrying a gleaming sword among these strange humans. Then Seo-woon accidentally saw someone licking a blade with relish. It seemed they all had special skills while Seo Woon had nothing. He even wondered, am I gonna die? But then he gritted his teeth. Even if this is a dream, I don't want to die. If this is really like what I've experienced, then, a loud voice called out, "Hey, messy hair." Seo Woon was startled and asked back, calling me Bawang Eiso. The muscular guy with the sword from earlier asked him curiously, "Why do you keep looking around? Where are you from?" Seo Woon remained silent for a long time. The other guy seemed to lose patience and scolded, "Are you ignoring me? I asked where you're from." The system's sound reminded, "Game starts in 3 seconds." Seo Woon smiled meaningfully, 2 more seconds. The other guy saw him smile and wondered, "Why are you laughing? Are you crazy?" 1 more second. Seo Woon's smile grew brighter as he thought, "Why am I laughing, you ask?" He extended his hand to attack the swordsman, thinking to himself, "I'm having such an interesting dream, so why wouldn't I laugh? With my knowledge of locking abilities, I can easily defeat someone like you." The other guy, having been hit, immediately cursed, "You bastard! How dare you!" When the system announced Great Survival Day 1 begins, everyone scattered like a disturbed beehive. Each person chose a different landing spot. Seo Woon quickly realized they were landing in crowded areas with many items. Seo Woon, who didn't think like them, thought differently. If in the game those places really have more items, I still think it would be better to start in the outskirts to stay safe. After wandering around for a while, he finally found the place he wanted. He thought, it might be okay around there. So he immediately shouted, "Descend!" Then Seo Woon was dropped in front of a wooden house. Seo Woon landed safely at the location he requested. Waiting for the surrounding dust to settle, Seo Woon stood up and observed his surroundings. He covered his mouth and thought, "I'm a little dizzy." Seo Woon looked at the door in front of him, calculating, "Now let's go into that house first." But then he suddenly realized something and froze. He sped up and ran faster into the house, cursing inwardly. "Damn it! Because I was dizzy, I don't know who landed with me." Seo Woon hurried forward full of anxiety. He thought, if I encounter an enemy without a weapon in hand, I'll die. As soon as he ran into the house, Seo Woon immediately slammed the door shut. He slumped to the ground, panting anxiously. Seo Woon felt a little regretful. I wonder if that sword-wielding guy from earlier followed me. Damn it, I shouldn't have provoked him. Seo Woon slowly looked out the window to observe the surrounding situation. But apart from the constantly falling leaves, there was no one. Was that just the wind? When he confirmed it was safe, Seo Woon stood up to look for items. Luckily, I don't hear any more noises. So let's check out this house. Observing the house for a moment, Seo Woon pondered. They said to get items from where you land, so I have to find them here. While strolling around the house, Seo Woon's foot suddenly tripped over something. Startled, he immediately looked down to see what he had hit. The system immediately announced, "You have collected a heavy bow." True to its name, Seo Woon picked it up and couldn't help but exclaim, "This is too heavy." He bent down to pick up the quiver. He felt a little more at ease. But this is better than nothing. He was surprised. As soon as I got it, how to use it flooded my mind. Seo Woon struggled to draw the bow. Right after picking it up and getting used to it, he exclaimed confidently, "For a Korean lieutenant, this is nothing." Seo Woon's hand touched the firing mechanism. "If I do this, it will shoot." Thinking so, Seo Woon tried pulling the trigger. The power of the heavy bow was immense. Looking at the devastated scene in front of him, Seo Woon could only sigh without being able to say anything. The arrow that had just been shot was deeply embedded in a wooden post in the house. Seo Woon forced a smile and said, "It would be quite useful if I learn how to use it properly." After searching in the house for a while, "I've searched around more but haven't found anything useful." So he left the wooden house. He looked at the surrounding houses and thought, well, this map is also very large. If so, there's nothing strange about it. Seo Woon advanced with the heavy bow. If I don't encounter any enemies, I can accumulate points at will. He slowly pushed open the door of a house. Going inside, there seemed to be no one. On the table was a glowing scroll. Seo Woon immediately noticed it and wondered, what is this? The system announced, You have received a small healing scroll. Small healing scroll. If you tear the scroll, your wounds will be healed. Co Woon finished reading, astonished. An item that will heal your wounds if you tear it. Realizing this, he resolved, I should collect more healing items. I wish I could find an item bag. From the bookshelf, something else glowed, attracting Seo Woon's attention. The system announced, you have received a martial arts book, Dark Star Hand Chi, a martial art that allows you to shoot hidden weapons from your fingers. The system asked him, do you want to learn this Dark Star Hand Chi martial arts book? Hearing this, Seo Woon wondered, can I learn this? Will a tutorial appear or something? Immediately after, a dazzling light blurred Seo Woon's entire face. The pages of the book flipped rapidly. Then the book also gradually tore almost completely. Seo Woon looked at his hand and wondered, what was that? But then he seemed to realize a significant change in his hand. His hand initially looked very clean without any injuries. Then faint scratches gradually appeared. Finally, his hand even became significantly calloused compared to before. As if controlled by some force, Seo Woon picked up the fork. He threw it forcefully towards the space in front of him. The fork stuck firmly into the wall. Seo Woon smiled proudly, thinking, I've learned a martial art. Jin Si-un scraped the fork on a stone. He gripped the fork tightly, thinking to himself, nice. He thought to himself, since martial arts books exist, then there must be magic books too, right? Anyway, I'm sure Great Survival is the same type of game as Royal Ground. He looked around and said, I've checked this whole place out. Let's move on to another place. Cian ran outside. While I was farming, it got dark. I need to find shelter quickly. Suddenly, he was surprised by something. He stood in front of a house and went into a defensive stance. Only this house has lights on. He silently analyzed, the fact that it's lit means one of two possibilities. Either there's rare equipment inside. Then he hesitated as he thought further, or someone is there. Then Seon slowly and carefully entered. He raised his bow warily, looking around. I don't know how many people landed near me, but if someone is here, they're either a super pro or a super noob. He hid close to the wall at the foot of the stairs, looking up. No sound on the first floor. He suspected, are they hiding on the second floor? He reassured himself, I have a weapon, and if I ambush them with the Dark Star Chi Palm, even if they're pros, I still have a chance. Then he decided to go upstairs. Siyun raised his bow ready and slowly ascended. As he went up, he discovered something. The light was coming from an oil lamp. He looked around. Just an oil lamp? Is this a trap? He looked into the room next door. He sensed something. Then Siyun kicked the door open. He stepped into the room, then looked around, observing. Siyun stopped, panting heavily. He wearily sank to his knees, sighed, and cursed. Damn it, messing around for nothing. He breathed a sigh of relief. Luckily, no one is here. He pulled open the drawer. A ring lay inside. He picked up the ring. A ring is this equipment too. The information panel appeared. Ring of Strength increases user's strength by 20 when worn. Siyun looked at the information panel. Just by wearing it, I get stronger. Then he put on the ring. Suddenly, the ring lit up, startling him. He felt his body. What's this? My body feels lighter. I can barely feel the weight of the crossbow anymore. He stared. Strength increased by 20 means. He said, Stats character, no information, it's up. The information panel appeared. Name Jin Si-un, race, human class, martial artist, strength, 30, stamina, 15, agility, 13. Magic resistance 5. He thought to himself, I'm so weak and I'm classified as a martial artist because I learned martial arts. He admired the ring on his hand and said happily, pretty cool. I mean, compared to starting with nothing this. Then he went downstairs. I need to thoroughly check the first floor. He took out the subspace ring. Then he put it on. Allows the user to store equipment in subspace when worn. He thought to himself, I've found quite a few rings. To store equipment, grab it and say or think from subspace. If you touch the ring with your other hand while thinking of the desired equipment, you can retrieve the equipment from subspace. The next notification appeared. If the subspace is full, you cannot store more equipment. He looked and said, is this like an inventory? So here this is used instead of a backpack. Then he tried subspace. The space immediately appeared before him, leaving him amazed. He took a scroll from the space. This is pretty strange but convenient, and I don't have to carry it like a backpack. He withdrew his hand from the space. If I had this in real life, it would be so convenient. He looked around. Equipment and martial arts. If I could bring them back to reality, that would be truly... He approached and looked at the board. No one eliminated yet. Looking at the interface, I'm sure there's a kill log. Then he discovered, oh, here it is. He looked at the board and said, only one person eliminated so far. I was planning to farm until only 90 people were left, but Siyun looked around. I found a house and gathered quite a lot of consumable equipment. I was lucky enough to find a hidden weapon besides the dark star chi palm. He calculated, maybe I've explored everything. I should probably move on. Or should I stay here until morning? The strong people I saw in the waiting room are lurking in the shadows. At my current level, I can definitely defeat them. But if I hide and climb into the top 10, I'll be able to earn good points like today. He looked out the window. Fewer people at night. I should go to one more place before morning. Siyun strolled through the forest. Even though I'm constantly moving, I don't feel tired. This ring of strength is amazing. After walking for a while, he felt a bit tired. But even with increased strength, I still feel hungry and thirsty. Maybe great survival is like reality. He lamented, ugh, I'm so hungry. I can't find any food. There must be food in the city, right? He searched around. According to the map, it's somewhere around here. But where are the houses? Before he could finish speaking, a hungry wolf appeared from behind, letting out a ferocious growl. Siyun's heart skipped a beat upon hearing that. Then he quickly moved to hide. He hid behind a tree to observe the situation. Damn it, I didn't hear anything. He stared at the passing wolf and discovered in horror, it's a werewolf. Suddenly, a werewolf appeared beside him and lunged at him. It slammed straight into the tree where he was, but luckily he escaped in time. He shouted and cursed. What the hell was that? The base of the tree was shattered. Two werewolves growled, searching for him. He quickly moved. I thought this was a PvP game. I didn't expect monsters. Siyun ran out of there with all his might. If I knew something like that was lurking around, I would have stayed put. He ran for his life. I'm still a ranker. Dying to a minion monster would be so embarrassing. In the distance, a house came into view. He ran for his life in that direction. Siyun managed to get into the house. He sat down, clutching his chest, panting heavily. Outside, the growls of werewolves could still be heard. He was terrified. Damn it! Did they follow me all the way here? The growls grew more frequent. Inside the house, Siyun worried, what do I do? Terrified, he peeked outside through the crack in the door. Outside, two werewolves were growling, searching for him. He watched silently. The way it's sniffing, it's looking for my scent. If so, then he picked up his bow. I'll attack first. Let's go. He silently aimed from a corner. He observed carefully before making his move. An arrow was shot. An arrow was shot. It flew through the mouth of a werewolf, causing it to scream in pain. He was happy he hit it. Nice. Siyun turned and hid again, calculating. Thanks to the ring of strength, I can shoot with one hand. Now I just need to deal with the last one. Suddenly he noticed something. The remaining werewolf had spotted him and lunged at him. It swung its arm and smashed the door. He quickly dodged. His face was scratched. He looked at it in terror. The werewolf charged straight into the house towards him. Siyun quickly regained his balance and cursed. Damn it! He quickly raised his bow and aimed. The arrow flew straight towards the werewolf. It raised its hand to block. Because the arrow pierced its hand, it screamed in pain and lunged at him. A thought flashed through his mind. Am I going to be eliminated like this? Suddenly he shouted, not yet, subspace. He opened the subspace, took something out from it and shouted, Dark Star Chi Palm. A blow pierced the werewolf's body. His weapon pierced through the werewolf and stuck straight into the wall. He said, I can't lose to a minion. The werewolf disintegrated before him. Siyun sighed in relief. I thought I was done for. He collapsed to the ground, exhausted. He said, luckily I had stored throwing daggers beforehand. I thought I was going to be killed by that minion monster. So embarrassing. Suddenly a bag appeared in front of him. Hmm, what's this? He went closer and opened the bag. Monster minion drops, huh? He took items from the bag. Damn it, just water and dried meat. I can hunt for food myself. Damn. Sian took the provisions and chewed. Should I scout around you? He found a piece of armor on the table. A piece of armor? This looks like the bulletproof vest in royal ground. Siyun tried it on. A bit big for me. The armor adjusted. He was surprised. Oh, it adjusts to the user's size. The notification panel appeared, high-grade orichalcum armor equipped. Your fire and wind magic resistance has greatly increased. He read the stats. Wow, so good. It doesn't just increase 1 or 2 stats. Then he rummaged around, searching more. I bet there are other things. Suddenly he sensed something. Huh, what's this? I don't see anything. Something invisible was in the corner. He kicked his foot in that direction. Is it hidden equipment? He picked it up. Feels like cloth. He put it on. The notification panel appeared. Night cloak equipped. When equipped, if you stay still in the dark, you will blend into it. While hidden, you will not be detected by magic and sounds around you will be completely suppressed. He happily touched it. So cool. Sian thought, with this, I can avoid anyone I encounter at night right with it. I can survive the longest. He made up his mind. Let's do it. He thought to himself, I was confused when there was a house in the middle of nowhere, but it's a farming spot. My luck is better on the second day. Full moon night. Sian left the house. Still haven't met anyone. Was I dropped in a random location? Suddenly, he heard voices from afar. Pant, pant, damn it! From a distance, someone was running for their life towards him, constantly cursing. He has a scar on his face. If only I had time to use it, a disciple of that level would be nothing. He immediately hid behind a tree, put on the night cloak, and silently observed the man. He stood catching his breath. Didn't expect to run into a mage. On this side, he slowly drew his bow. He doesn't look strong. If I'm right, I can handle him. Then the other guy struggled on. As he aimed, he reassured himself, that's not a person. This is just a game. Why are you hesitating? Shoot, damn it. Suddenly, another person appeared from afar. He's mistaken. Escrow's fire. A stream of fire shot out, heading straight for the fleeing man. Finally, the fire engulfed him. Si-yun hid on one side, watching in astonishment. Is he dead? Suddenly, he realized something. He looked in that direction. Because a chest appeared instead of a body, it seems we really are in a game. Then it should contain the equipment he had right. But where did that fire come from? The fire-controlling mage approached with a sneer. A thing that doesn't know how to use magic dares to steal my equipment. Si-un, sitting nearby, felt his heart pound. He was still muttering, unlucky bastard. If he had died by my sword, he wouldn't have had to suffer the pain of burning to death. Si-un tried to control his breathing. He watched the man. He walked past without seeing me. Damn, this cloak is amazing. He said, be honored to die by my hand, Kairon. He approached. Let's see what he drops. He looked at him thinking, the one who just died was a player like me. I might be the next one hunted by this guy. He hesitated. The moment I hesitate, someone will kill me and rank up. An idea struck him. If so, then if I want to survive. Suddenly, something lunged at him. The guy was gleefully checking his loot. Oh, he's got some good stuff. He sensed something lunging at him. A shield was erected. Kairon seriously observed his surroundings. A player. Damn it, I made too much noise. It's all that bastard's fault. He raised his bow, ready to shoot. Another arrow pierced straight into his shield, making it about to break. Kairon panicked. Damn it, at this rate, my shield will break. He said, are you over there? Then he launched a technique, shoot. Kairon shouted loudly. Where are you hiding? Stop playing cowardly and show yourself. Another arrow flew out. It came from his side. He realized and turned around. His shield shattered. Kairon was terrified. Shield bastard, where are you hiding? Si-yun hid on one side, silently aiming again. The panicked Kairon launched a technique, fire, but the arrow had already shot straight into his head. His mouth still hesitated to make a sound. He had thrown his weapon right into the center of his forehead, killing him. He sighed in relief. 1. The man's body turned into a chest. He approached. If someone saw the fire and followed, it would be very troublesome. I have to farm quickly and then run. He opened the chest. Let's check the mage's chest first. A notification appeared. You received gloves. You received a general healing scroll. He was amazed. Good healing equipment. Another notification appeared. You received Escrow's necklace. This pure gold necklace shows you are a mage of the Escrow's Magic Guild. He held the necklace in his hand. Huh, just trash equipment with no attributes. I'll store it for now. Suddenly, something in the other chest attracted him. What's this? It was a stone. A notification appeared. You received a magic circle stone. Allows the user to carve a circle around their heart to use mana. Once used, you can learn the magic of that circle. Seeing this, he was half believing, half doubting. Just like that, I can become a mage. He remembered how the guy had shouted earlier, if only I had time to use it, a disciple of that level would be nothing. He realized, so that's why he said that. Sion held the stone in his hand and said with a smile, Sorry, but I'll use it well in your place. He emptied the rest into the subspace. I should put everything else in the chest and check it out in a safer place. Then he left. I need to find a place to use the magic circle stone. He went to a village. This place looks okay. He went into a room and took out the stone. A notification appeared. Will you use the magic circle stone? He immediately replied, Yes. The notification appeared again. When using the magic circle stone, you will be immobilized for 3 hours. You will not be able to do anything during that time. You may also feel slight pain as the magic circle forms. He suddenly felt pain. I suppressed the scream I wanted to let out and endured excruciating pain for the next 3 hours. Sion lay struggling on the floor dazed and said, Slight pain my ass, I thought I was going to die. He exclaimed, Learning martial arts is easy but magic. He said, Status. The stat panel appeared. His stats had increased significantly. Oh, so you can have 2 classes at once. Now I have mana stats too. He looked up at the board. Because 2 guys died, the number of survivors must have decreased too. Survivors. The board immediately jumped to the page he requested. He looked up. How can this be? The board showed only 45 survivors left. He was confused. Decreased by so much? The history board appeared. 1 player covered the entire board. He thought to himself, Nam Sa Guang. A few hours ago, somewhere, Nam Sa Guang stood above, looking down at a man running desperately. Stop. Please, don't chase me anymore. He laughed and licked his lips. The running man tripped over a rock and fell to the ground. The man cowered in fear and begged, Top 90. Please, just let me get into the top 90. Nam Sa Guang sneered and looked. The other guy begged him, I can't be eliminated like this. I beg you. He screamed in fear, Please, just this once. But Sa Guang couldn't do that. He took off the other guy's head and said, By now, all participants should know, right? The other guy then turned into a chest. Cloud Survival Day 3. Sion looked at the information panel in astonishment. What 54 people died in one night? He said, Nam Sa Guang, I hope I don't meet him. Suddenly he realized something. Wait a minute. At this rate I can get into the top 10. He thought. Before it started they announced that the top 10 would receive rewards. I wonder what it is. I guess it could be money or items. But what if the reward is the ability to bring the skills and items I get here back to the real world? He leaned against the wall. Out there a DNAG murderer is on the loose and I'm sitting here daydreaming. He said, I need to finish and start acting soon. He tried using magic power. I can feel the energy inside my body. Is this magic power? He opened the subspace. That's right. Yesterday I found a magic book while collecting items. He took out a book. The notification panel appeared, Wind Ball Magic Book creates a ball of wind. The number of balls that can be created will increase with the user's strength. He was happy. I knew it. The notification panel appeared, Do you want to use it? He pressed the yes button. Then the book suddenly vanished before him. He was bewildered. What's going on? It's helping me learn magic directly in my head. C enchanted the spell Enro Magic. He extended his hand. Wind ball. 4 wind balls appeared in front of his hand. He looked at them. Is that all? Then he threw them. The 4 balls floated. Then a loud bang occurred, shattering the door behind him. He turned to look at the remains. It's stronger than it looks. This is too convenient. His face showed clear fatigue. But why do I suddenly feel tired? Is it because I used magic? The stat panel appeared, his mana stat was 0. Over time, the restricted area began to appear on the map, and its range gradually narrowed. I decided to take the opportunity to fight monsters while still on the edge of the restricted area. He went outside thinking, the chance of encountering other players must have halved by now because they've disappeared right. I need to farm items quickly before the restricted area shrinks further. Someone stood atop a tree silently observing him. He followed from the town to the outskirts. He said, how interesting. Then he moved and disappeared. Half a day later, I remember seeing houses around here on the map. He looked around in astonishment. Huh. The scene before him was chaotic blood everywhere. Cian quickly became alert to his surroundings. He used the windball magic and struck straight into a corner. That spot was destroyed, but there was nothing there. He said, was that just the wind? He was serious. I thought I sensed someone's presence. Suddenly he saw something. The inside of the house was a mess, blood everywhere. He realized someone injured. He thought, they must be strong since they've survived until now. Should I kill them while they're injured? They must have good items. Then he decided firmly, no, I have to prioritize my own survival. Let's go. He put on his cloak and turned to leave. Someone came out from the house. Is he gone? The person in the house sighed in relief. Phew, lucky I hid quickly, otherwise I'd probably be dead. The person went outside. Although if I weren't injured, I could have easily taken care of him. Then he started rummaging around. Well, I should find items quickly and then leave. Suddenly from somewhere, an arrow flew and pierced his head. He died standing, only managing to utter, damn it. Then he also disintegrated. Sion stood on a tree branch in a corner and said, thanks for coming out so quickly. He said happily, I'll quickly find items and go to the edge of the restricted area. Suddenly, the old man who had been watching him before appeared unexpectedly behind him. You seem very skilled, don't you? He quickly turned around. I let my guard down. The old man said calmly, no need to be afraid. I just want to ask you a few questions. He was wary. Who are you? The old man immediately replied, if I tell you, will you know? Anyway, we live in different places. He gave a forced smile. Is that so? He thought to himself. He's different from the people I've met. The old man began to ask, so have you ever participated in this game before? He hesitated. Game? What do you mean? The old man said, I've been watching you for a while, and I see that you adapt very quickly. I'm sure you know this isn't reality? He warily looked at the old man. How long have I not noticed him? Since when has he been observing me? He said, this is the first time I've been brought here, but I've played a similar game in my old world. The old man immediately replied, a game. It's similar to this. How interesting. He silently observed. Looking at his appearance, I know he's not from the same world as me. The old man looked up at the sky. It's getting dark. He immediately replied, yes, today is the third day. The old man asked further, is the moon in your world this big? He thought to himself, I've never noticed the moon being this big. He looked up at the sky to admire it. No, the moon here is bigger. The old man replied, in my world, the moon is also smaller. Then the old man turned to ask, by the way, can you explain to me the game you mentioned? Seyun asked, right here, I think we could easily be ambushed in this place. The old man thought, stroking his beard, and said, perhaps this will be a long conversation. Why don't we go somewhere else? He was wary. But how do I know you won't kill me? Before he could finish speaking, the old man grabbed him. I'm sure you know very well. Don't make a sound. The old man continued. If you don't want to become a target. Then he moved as fast as the wind. He screamed in panic. At that moment, I had no idea the consequences of this encounter. The old man dropped him on a treetop, crossed his arms, and said, oh ho, you play with dolls in a virtual space. It sounds like your world is a place full of magic, isn't it? He was still panicked. You brought me to the treetop. The old man replied, it's safer here. Then he replied, How should I put it? It's a place with advanced civilization. The old man pondered. Advanced civilization. So that's why you adapt so quickly. Siam beside him thought to himself, damn it, how long has he been watching me? The old man said, I've been with you since we fell here. He was astonished. Is he reading my mind? The old man said calmly, I was planning to spend the next 100 days enjoying the fresh air on the high mountain peak, but your actions have made me curious. I only decided to talk to you because I'm curious why we were brought here. I don't mean to harm you, so don't be so wary of me. Hearing that, he bowed his head and said, I also don't know why we were brought here. The old man immediately asked back, but didn't you say you have something similar in your world? He sighed and said, ah, that's also just a type of game, and it's just for fun. People don't actually die. So when it comes to the motives of supernatural beings who can kidnap people from other worlds, how would I know? The old man looked at him. I understand, he continued, but I'm sure this game will be a good opportunity for everyone. The old man looked at him. Opportunity. He explained, you probably already know, when you die here you don't really die. When you die, you will be ranked and receive rewards corresponding to your rank. I think those rewards will be the items you get here. The old man asked back, you mean the things on you? He replied, not just those, but also the skills and martial arts learned here. Of course, there's no proof of this yet. Their conversation continued. Magic is really interesting. You say all this can become an opportunity. I'm sure you won't need them. But for people who are going through many difficulties in life, these abilities can change their lives. What makes you think I don't face any difficulties? He looked at the old man and continued. You seem like a martial arts master, so I'm sure you have followers in your world. It can't be compared to someone like me, someone who is truly useless in this world. That's why I said this would be a great opportunity for those facing difficulties in life. Suddenly, the old man burst out laughing. What you say sounds really interesting, young man. He immediately panicked. Don't talk so loudly, lower your voice. The conversation continued. By the way, earlier you kept looking and swiping your finger in the air. What was that? Ah, so you don't know how to open the map. I told him some useful tips in this world and listened to stories from his world. The sun rose quickly. He landed on the ground. Is it morning already? He put him down and said, it seems this old man's talkativeness has taken up too much of your time, hasn't it? He replied, not at all. He thought to himself, saying that is the safest way to ensure safety. He said, I also enjoyed listening to stories about your world. The old man immediately said, I've learned a lot about this game thanks to you. What can I do to repay you? He immediately seized the opportunity. Can I learn martial arts from you? I really want to survive until the end and I need your help. The old man silently looked at him, then said, it's not impossible. He listened nervously. The old man continued, however, you must prepare for the worst. He asked, the worst? What do you mean? He turned and said seriously, death. So what do you say? The mysterious elder looked at him seriously. I mean death. So what will it be? To succeed beyond traditional methods, a very high price must be paid. Are you prepared for that? Jin Seo-woon looked bewildered. But elder, people don't die here. The old man froze and stammered, you're right. The elder turned away, stroking his chin, and said, if so, then using that method might be feasible. He excitedly spoke up, is there a way for me to become stronger? The old man immediately said, at least it's worth a try. Jin Seo-woon was impatient. What should I do? The elder touched his head, pondered, and said, first let's see how much internal energy you have. He was confused. What? The old man exclaimed in astonishment. Oh my God, your internal energy, it's even less than my dog's. The elder looked incredulous. How can this be? Jin Seo-woon heard this and immediately said, I told you in my world there's no such thing as martial arts or internal energy. The old man calmed down and spoke, now sit in the lotus position. Hearing this, he sat in the position the old man described. The elder placed his hand on Jin Seo-woon's head as if preparing to transmit something. The old man warned, you will feel a pain like death, but you won't be able to move. Hearing this, he worried, then what should I do? The elder said sternly, endure it. If you can't do that, You will die. All my senses are extremely sharp. The wind blowing across my skin feels like sharp blades, and the breath entering my lungs is like hot fire. I can even hear ants crawling in the nearby grass. Suddenly, Jin Seo-woon sensed something. He screamed in pain, his eyes and mouth emitting a dazzling light. Am I about to die? This pain feels like death. Jin Seo-woon's eyes widened. From within his pupils, the figures of him and the elder appeared. The pain had vanished. Jin Seo-woon was still processing what he had just experienced. It's over. His face turned pale. Jin Seo-woon immediately vomited. Seeing this, the elder standing behind said, "The way you endured it tells me your body isn't too bad and you have an innate character. Because I've altered the flow through your aura, your body will be different from before." He wiped his sweat and said, "So what do I do now?" The old man approached Jin Seo-woon. "You said you want to become strong as quickly as possible." He looked at the old man. "That's right." The elder raised his hand and explained, "I pushed your soul far away and created a breathing portal in that space." He glanced into the distance and continued, "Humans are born to absorb the world's light qi through breathing, however. Now you have another portal to absorb special energies instead of breathing." Jin Seo-woon wondered, "So what has changed?" The elder explained, "Humans consist of body, mind, and soul. Those three are held together by living light qi." He looked at him and asked, "So tell me what happens to that living light qi if a person dies?" He stammered, "Well, it disappears, right?" "Wrong. It doesn't disappear. It disperses." The elder crossed his arms. Dispersed living light qi is absorbed by nature, and that allows the flow of life to continue. However, some people consider such logical flows wasteful. They even kill people to absorb other living light qi. But those whose bodies are full of others' living light qi will be very unstable, and eventually, the harmony of their yin and yang will shatter, causing them to no longer receive martial arts or even die. The mind technique I've taught you allows you to absorb such dispersed living light qi to increase your internal energy. Jin Seo-woon panicked. "So I'll die?" The old man calmly replied, "You're a bit different, because unlike others who alter their own veins to create a portal, I used your soul for that. You have no internal energy at all. It's like a blank sheet of paper, so I've modified your veins, allowing you to absorb living light qi harmoniously. Do you understand why I gave you a mind skill that is forbidden in Zhongyuan?" Jin Seo-woon replied, "Because of the game's settings." The elder praised, "That's right. I like how quickly you understand things." He continued, "I felt it since yesterday. In places where people die, there's wasted life force there. The biggest problem with this mind skill is that you can only achieve the greatest success with it through killing. But here, that's not an issue. To survive, you can eliminate others. By the end of 100 days, you might have reached a considerable level." The old man turned to him and instructed, "All right, it's time for us to go our separate ways. I hope to see you again." He quickly approached. "Wait," Jin Seo-woon said in alarm. "Because you've helped me so much, please at least tell me your name." The elder looked at him and said, "My name is Jang Do-cheon. They call me the Sage Guardian of the Dio Valley Standing Kindi. And the mind skill I just taught you is White Martial Fistquay Arts." He bowed his head low. "Thank you. I will never forget this kindness." The old man crossed his arms and replied, "Of course. And get used to breathing deeply by accumulating internal energy through your dantian. You will gradually become stronger." He reached out and touched the map. "That's the map, right? How convenient. I'll see you when the opportunity arises." He was stunned. "Yes, elder." The elder quickly flew away. Jin Seo-woon stood watching, dazed. He disappeared so quickly like a pro. He thought to himself, "If I could use lightness skill, I could also move around freely." After standing for a while, Jin Seo-woon also began to move. "Let's move to the restricted area in the outskirts as planned." Being kidnapped by an elder to the center of the restricted area happened in an instant. But walking there took a lot of time. It took half a day. "The map is bigger than I thought." Arriving, he stood in the bushes, silently observing the house. The lanterns are on, even though it's evening. Maybe it's an empty house or it's a newbie who doesn't know how to turn off the lights. I'll go there tonight. Thinking so, Jin Seo-woon quickly ran off. He carefully approached the house. Jin Seo-woon, while checking his crossbow, observed his surroundings. The light bulb in the house. He turned it off. I was right. It's time to find items. Jin Seo-woon looked tired. Damn it. He lay down on the ground and sighed. Only useless items. I came here for nothing. The system panel appeared. You received a small healing scroll glitch, etc. Jin Seo-woon yawned widely, thinking, that's right. I didn't sleep at all yesterday because I had to talk to the elder all night. Let's sleep a bit. He covered himself with a stealth cloak and fell asleep. The night was quiet. Suddenly the sky brightened. The system panel appeared. Great Survival Day 5. Jin Seo-woon was still fast asleep. Footsteps were approaching. He suddenly woke up. A voice rang out. This doesn't look like an empty house. A dark figure stood outside the window. Jin Seo-woon tensed up, not daring to move. He gently reached for his crossbow, thinking, damn it, the sun is already high and I'm still sleeping here like a baby. The footsteps grew closer. A strange man entered. Finally, I can rest. He suddenly became alert. Jin Seo-woon aimed the crossbow straight at him. He shot an arrow rapidly towards him. He quickly drew his sword and split the arrow in two. Jin Seo-woon reached into the subspace, thinking, a martial artist, how troublesome. Dark Star Chi Palm. He threw small daggers. He used his hand to shield himself but was still injured. Filthy bastard, you dare use hidden weapons. Jin Seo-woon closed in and pushed his whole body into him. The man fell backwards. He quickly kicked the sword out of his hand. Jin Seo-woon picked up an arrow intending to stab and said, I was having a beautiful dream and you woke me up. He trembled. Spare me, I'll do anything, I'll give you everything I have. Please, I struggled so hard to survive. I can't die here. He stabbed the arrow into his head despite his pleas killing him. The system panel appeared. Jin Seo-woon killed Shio Long. Headshot. Jin Seo-woon looked at the corpse with cold eyes. Me too.